What is language? Language can be defined as verbal, physical, biologically innate, and a basic form for communication. There are three theories of language development: the learning perspective, the nativist perspective, interactionist theory. The learning perspective argues that children imitate what they see and hear, and that children learn from punishment and reinforcement. The nativist perspective argues that humans are biologically programmed to gain knowledge, and the third one is interactionist theory argues that language develops in both biologic and social. Interactionist argues that language learning is influenced by the desire of children to communicate with others. There are four main aspects of language. First one is phonology. Phonology is the study of sound in a language. Phoneme, the basic units of sound. The second type is paragmatic, and it's the study of the uses of language. The third type is semantics, and semantics is the study of the meaning of a language. It also contains morpheme, which is the smallest unit of sound to carry meaning. The last type is syntax, which is the study of the structural language units and how words can be formed to create grammatically correct sentence. General principles of language. Those words combined together, corresponding combination of ideas which are judgments of the mind expressed in words. Different language makes different words to express the same idea by arranging them in different ways. These arrangements are depend of the arbitrary usage of each language and cannot be accounted for a precise theory. But those arrangements are identically in every language, and the general principles are common in all language. They are mainly as follows. 1. All minds produce words which admit and communicate ideas. 2. Ideas connected together in the mind must be imitated in words that represent them. 3. Ideas are different. 4. Sounds of a different kind of words are necessarily the human organs of speech system can produce. 5. Name of the things are which a human being learns first in whatever language he speaks. 6. Any word in any way representing the idea of action is called as verb. 7. The grammatical properties assigned to a verb must be to some extent the same in all language. 8. All language consists of male and female. In some language there are some words which are neither male nor female. Those are called neutral. 9. All language are generative. 10. All language are prone to change. They are dynamic. They constantly change and evolving. Phonetics. Phonetics is the study of the production and written declaration of speech sound. Why do we need to study phonetics? We need to study phonetics so that we can upgrade our articulation by learning to make each sound of standard English correctly. We also need to study phonetics so that we can explain the symbols used in dictionaries which appear the pronunciation of radios, announcers, and educated English-speaking people. What is accent? It's one set of a given language. All languages are made up of a number of dialects or accents. Each dialect appears the way one group of people speak in a specific language. What do we use to produce sounds? To produce any sound, we use three groups of system or bodily organs. There are the respiratory or aerobic system, the phonatory system, and the articulatory system. The respiratory system it compresses the lung, the muscles, by means of which they are squeezed or dilated. The pupillary tubes and windpipe or trachea. The primary function of this system is respiration, but it also provides the stream of air needed to produce the sound we make when we speak. The second system, the phonatory system, it's created by larynx or voice box. The primary function is to act as valve which can close off lungs slightly for their prevention, and partly so that the ribcage can be made regret while muscular pain are exerted by the arms. The articulatory systems is consists of nose, lips, and the mouth, and it consists including especially the teeth and tongue. The vocal organs situated along the vocal tract above the glottis are called the articulators. Some articulators are dynamic, which means active, and others are static, which means passive. And we will discuss that in the next slide. The passive articulators means the upper lips, the upper teeth, the roof of the mouth, and back wall of the throat. The roof of the mouth is a big area is divided into two soft plata and hard plata. The active articulators are fundamentally the tongue and the lips. The tongue is divided into the blade, the front, the back, and the roof. Now we're gonna talk about syntax. Syntax is the rules of sentence information. The components of the mental grammar that give speakers the new knowledge of the structure or phrases and sentence. The arrangements words in a sentence from the Greek, so arrange together. What are the basic components of a sentence? Verb, punctuation, preposition, conjunction, clause, subject, object. Simple sentence construction. Subject. A subject is the thing being described. Verb. A verb expresses an action. And object, which is the sentence, may also contain object, which is the thing or person of affected by the action described in the verb. And here we have simple sentence examples like I, subject, walk, verb, and I, subject, walk, verb, the dog, which is the object. There are different types of sentence: simple, compound, independent, dependent, complex, combining. The simple that contains only one verb, and the compound which contains two or more main verbs and is made of two sentences which join using conjunctions like while and but. Independent, which are complex sentence, and dependent are related part of a sentence. They don't doesn't express a complete thought its own. Complex contains one or more main verb. Combining it can be combined by using connections word and conjunctions. Here we have some common conjunctions, which is joining word, and, nor, but, yet, for, so, or, and others, and also some common prepositions, words that indicate time, location, which is like above, into, in, before, since, of, with. And here we have some more information. We can start any sentence with and or but. It's grammatically correct. We can start a new paragraph when we have a fresh point to make. In academic writing, longer paragraphs are used to display information and develop idea and arguments. Phonology. Phonology is the study of how sounds are organized and used in natural language. The phonological system of a language includes an inventory of sounds and other features and rules which specify how sounds interact with each other. Here is an illustration that shows the place of phonology in an interacting hierarchy of levels in linguistics. Here we have a comparison between phonology and phonetics. Phonetics is the basis of phonological analysis, analyzes the production of all human speech sounds regardless of language. Phonology is the basis of further work in morphology, syntax, discourse, and orthographically design, analyzes the sound patterns of a particular language by determining which phonetic sounds are significant and explaining how these sounds are interrupted by native speakers. Models of phonology. Different models of phonology contribute to our knowledge of phonological representations and processes. In classical phonemes, phonemes and other possible combinations are central. In standard generative phonology, distinctive features are central. In nonlinear models of phonology, a stream of speech is represented as multi-dimensional, not simply as a linear sequence of sound segments. These nonlinear linear models grow out of the generative phonology, auto-segmental phonology, metrical phonology, lexical phonology. Semantics. The field of linguistics considers with the study of meaning in language. The technical terms for the study of meaning in language is a semantics, but as soon as the term is used, a word of warning is in order. Morphology. Morphology is the identification, analysis, and descriptions of the structure of a given language morphemes, and other linguistic units such as roots words, affixes, parts of speech, intonations. Morphological types of language: synthetic, which is made up of free morphemes only, and analytic, which is affixes as inbound morphemes attached to other morphemes to create a new word that has several meaningful elements. What is inflectional and derivational affix? The inflectional does not change the meaning. When I add the new letters like ed, that doesn't change the meaning. But derivational does change the meaning, like break and unbreak. When I add un before the word, this will be prefix because it's before the word. And when I add able, for example, after the word, this will become suffix. So here we have some examples like the word break. We add un to the break, it's become unbreak. And it does change the meaning here, so it's a derivational affix. Also we have play, to played, but it doesn't change meaning in this word, so it's still inflectional affix. And the last example, eat and eats, we add s for the positions, and it doesn't change the meaning.